Welcome, warriors of silence, kings and queens of the comeback, legends in the making, who've been laughed at, doubted, whispered about in rooms you weren't invited to, disrespected by those who thought they were louder, smarter, stronger. But now the tables have flipped, and oh, how they flipped hard. This one's for you, the ones who kept quiet, swallowed the venom, bit down on your tongue, while their knives stabbed your back. But now the story's different. Now the silence has grown teeth. Now you're the noise. And all that hate, it aged like spoiled milk. Let them choke on their words. You see, they thought you were weak because you didn't scream when they betrayed you. They mistook your silence for surrender. They confused your calm for cowardice. What they didn't know, what they never calculated for, was that you were loading. Quietly, patiently, ruthlessly, loading every insult, every fake smile, every shadow they cast over you, into fuel, into war, into power. While they laughed, you planned. While they gossiped, you built. While they spit your name out of their dirty mouths, you carved your legacy in stone. And now that you're rising, louder, prouder, stronger, they sound dumb as hell trying to explain why they ever doubted you. They're choking on their own poison now, gagging on the irony, desperate to rewrite the narrative they once controlled. They used to talk about you like you were a joke, but here's the plot twist. You became the punchline they couldn't handle. Because now when they speak on your name, it tastes different. It tastes like shame, like regret, like spoiled milk left in the heat too long, curled up, sour, disgusting. That's what hate does. It rots from the inside out. And you're still fresh, still clean, still rising. You stayed real. You stayed solid. You stayed silent until the time was right. And when the time came, you didn't roar, you didn't brag, you just walked in and owned it, and the world felt it. The same mouths that mocked you now mumbled excuses. The same eyes that rolled at your name now follow your every move. The same people who counted you out now want to count your blessings. Let that sink in. People only talk behind your back when they're already behind you. They knew what you were capable of before you even showed it. That's why they tried to poison the well before you drank from it. They wanted to kill your confidence in the womb. Assassinate your potential before it ever drew breath. But they failed. Because you weren't built to break. You were built to endure. You became dangerous the moment you realized silence was your weapon. The moment you stopped needing to defend yourself. The moment you let them run their mouths and drain their energy while you conserved yours. Because here's the truth, real ones don't bark. They bite when it's time. And now it's time. You see, their words were cheap. Their shade was light. Their gossip, fleeting. But your work, timeless. The hours you spent alone grinding, creating, failing, rising. That's the stuff that can't be undone. That's the armor they can't penetrate. That's the truth they can't spin. You showed them who you are without saying a damn thing. That's power. That's dominance. That's legacy. They talk behind your back. Now they can't look you in the eye. Because guilt wears heavy, lies wear thin. And you wear victory, you wear truth. You wear scars that shine brighter than their fake diamonds. They built their identities on tearing you down. Now they're left with nothing but echoes. Because their whole game was based on you not winning. But you did. And now their whole script looks stupid. They sound dumb AF, because they are. Let them drown in their confusion. This is the part where you don't even need to clap back. This is the part where success is your revenge. This is the part where you leave them behind and you don't even throw a glance because you're too busy building, you're too busy thriving, you're too busy being everything they said you'd never be. Let them talk. Let them keep talking. It only makes the silence that much louder when your name is in rooms they can't access. Their hate was loud, but your growth is louder. They didn't expect you to heal. They didn't expect you to evolve. They didn't expect you to be dangerous with peace in your hands. But now that you've become the storm, they're hiding in basements they once stood proud in. Because now every lie they told about you becomes a reflection of their own failure. Every insult becomes a mirror. Every laugh becomes a scream. The same ones who said you'd never make it now watch you own stages, sign deals, walk with confidence they can't mimic. And they still talk, but now it's nervous chatter. Envy hidden in passive-aggressive compliments. Jealousy wrapped in fake praise. But you see it, you feel it, and you don't care because you've leveled up beyond caring. You let the hate marinate. Let it curdle. Let it sour. Because you knew real growth doesn't need to be explained. It just shows up and changes the game. And now, you've become the standard, the one they measure themselves against, the one they tried to bury, but didn't realize you were a seed. They thought they were writing your ending, but they were just giving you a better beginning. Remember this, they talked because they were afraid of your quiet confidence, afraid of your power, afraid that one day you'd realize who you are. And now that you have, they're silent. Or worse, they're still talking, but no one's listening, because all that hate aged like spoiled milk, rotting, stinking, undrinkable, while you've become a feast of purpose, of growth, of power. They can't touch you now, so walk tall. Walk like every step you take is a middle finger to the version of them that thought they could break you. Walk like your silence was always the loudest statement. Walk like you're untouchable, because you are. Let them remember this. The same ones who said you were nothing now whisper your name like a prayer, not because they believe, but because they fear. And that's the win. Keep going. Your revenge is not loud. It's not violent. It's not angry. It's simply this. You made it. You made it. You fucking made it. And now they sound dumb AF. They thought it would destroy you. The gossip, the betrayal, the whispered conspiracies in back rooms you didn't know existed. They thought all of it would break your spine and bend your will. But what they didn't count on was how betrayal doesn't just hurt. It hardens. It sharpens. It crafts something new, something stronger. You didn't just survive. You reinvented. You restructured the entire blueprint of who you are. And now, they stare at the finished product, stunned, bitter, and painfully aware that they played themselves, because now, every lie they ever told about you has a spotlight on it. Every rumor is a joke. Every fake smile is a meme. Their energy was invested in your failure, and now their investment has gone bankrupt. Every ounce of effort they put into dragging you down only pulled them further into the pit they dug. And the view from the top? It's crystal clear. Their fall was self-inflicted. You didn't even have to push them. They slipped on their own envy. You kept receipts, not for revenge, but for the record. Because history matters. The journey matters. Every betrayal, every fake friend, every backstabber, they were your greatest teachers. They taught you who to never become. They showed you what weakness looks like in disguise. And in a twisted way, you should thank them. Not because they were right, but because they were necessary. They triggered the rebirth. You were never weak. You were just watching. You were never slow. You were strategizing. You weren't quiet out of fear. You were building the kind of silence that roars when the time is right. And now, it's deafening. Now, they hear you without you even speaking. Now your wins are sermons. Your presence is a warning. You walk in a room and they feel it. That cold realization that they fumbled something sacred. That they talked SHT on someone who now makes them look like a fool by simply existing. You don't have to say a word, because your success screams the truth. It screams that you never needed them, that you were whole before they tried to fracture you, that their opinions were never facts, and most importantly, that they never had power. They just had a loud mouth and a crowd of sheep. But the crowd is gone now, because time exposes everything, and all that hate, it fermented, it curdled, it turned to rot. Because lies have short legs, they don't run forever. Eventually, truth catches up, and when it does, it's brutal, it's surgical, it's humiliating. Every fake flex they had now looks like a joke next to your authenticity. They built castles out of sand, you built yours from scars. And now, the tide has come. Watch them try to rebuild. Watch them scramble to rewrite history. Watch them pretend they always believed in you, as if there weren't screenshots, memories, whole damn chapters of them dragging your name through dirt. But don't even waste your energy correcting them. Let them lie. Let them spin stories. You're too far ahead now to turn back. You've outgrown their nonsense. This ain't about revenge. This ain't about proving a point to them. This is about owning the truth. That you did this despite them. That every single person who tried to bury you only fertilized the soil. And now they have to sit back and watch the bloom. And let's be real, watching you glow from a distance, that's the real punishment, because they can't touch you anymore. They lost access. And once it's gone forever. This is the era of unbothered dominance. This is the age where you no longer need applause or validation. You are not for sale. You are not on clearance. You are not anyone's second chance. You are the product of persistence, pain, and divine precision. You are the proof that resilience doesn't whisper, it detonates. So walk like you own everything they thought you'd never have. Speak only when necessary, because silence makes your presence louder. Smile, not out of kindness for them, but out of gratitude for yourself. Because you never gave up. Even when you wanted to, even when you were drowning in doubt, even when their voices were louder than your own, you found yourself in the wreckage. And now you've become unstoppable. Let them keep talking. Their words are stale now. Their narrative expired. Their little games are exposed. You outpaced them. You outworked them. You outlived the version of yourself they thought they could destroy. They hate it. And they should. They should feel the weight of your success press against their lies like 1,000 bricks. They should taste the bitterness of their own betrayal every time your name crosses their timeline. They should feel the sting every time someone praises you, quotes you, shares your work, or asks them if they remember how wrong they were. Because they were. Dead wrong. And now they sound dumb AF. You don't need to clap back. Your story claps loud enough. You don't need to retaliate. The glow up did that for you. You don't need to seek justice. You are the justice. This is what happens when you don't fold. When you refuse to become bitter. When you choose your path and let it cut through every lie like a blade. When you outlast the noise. When you heal in silence and rise in power. They can talk all they want, but they're whispering in shadows now. And you're on fire, unshaken, unfazed, unbothered, because the same ones who mocked you now mimic you. The same ones who doubted you now follow your lead. And the same ones who tried to erase you now can't go a day without seeing your name written in flames. They can't stand it. And that's the win. That's the revenge. That's the payoff for every lonely night, every silent scream, every ounce of pain you swallowed. That's the reward for staying down until the time was right. That's the victory for keeping your soul when they tried to break it. That's what happens when hate ages like spoiled milk and greatness ages like fine wine. So raise a glass, not to them, not even to the pain, but to yourself, to the one who stayed solid when everything tried to shatter, to the one who got back up every single time, to the one they underestimated, and now they can't stop watching. You are the storm they didn't see coming, and now they can choke on the silence you left behind because you don't owe them a single word. You ever notice how quiet they get when you walk in the room now? How they shift, look down, fake smiles, suddenly get busy on their phones? Yeah, that's not coincidence. That's fear wearing a mask. That's guilt dressed up like casual distance. That's the sound of people choking on their own judgment. Because now, everything they said about you, everything they whispered, everything they laughed at, now it makes them look like fools. Because you're standing tall, proof that they were wrong. Living, breathing proof that all their noise was just static, weak, useless. And now that you've risen, that noise can't reach you. That hate can't touch you. That fake support can't fool you. Because you see it now. You see through every passive-aggressive congrats. You feel every side-eye behind fake claps. You've learned to read silence like scripture, and you know what isn't said always screams the loudest. They tried to paint you like a villain in stories they told themselves to feel better, and now they're the ones trying to rewrite it, trying to say, "We were just looking out for you," or "We always knew you had it in you." Nah, they weren't looking out, they were looking down. And now they're looking up, and they can't stand the view. Because you passed them, without even trying to compete. You weren't in their race. You were running a marathon with your own demons, fighting battles they never even saw, winning wars without an audience. And now that the dust is settled, now that your name is on mouths that once spat it out, you realize the real glow-up isn't even external. It's internal. It's the peace you walk with now. It's the silence that no longer hurts. Because now it's yours. Now it's power. Now it's the throne you sit on while the noise burns out in the background. And they want to come back now, don't they? They want back in. The same ones who left you on red. The ones who acted like your ambition was too much. The ones who joked about your dreams behind closed doors. They want to say, "What's up again?" They want a seat at the table you built alone. They want to sip from the cup they once tried to knock out of your hands. Let them stay thirsty. Let them sit the same silence they left you in, because you don't owe them water now. That version of you that waited for apologies, dead. That version that wanted validation, gone. That version that would have let them come back just to feel seen, buried, deep. You've evolved into someone untouchable, and that scares them more than anything. Because when someone can't be manipulated by guilt, by history, by false loyalty, they become dangerous. And now you and Yao are dangerous. Not because you're trying to hurt anyone, but because you don't need anyone. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't explain. You just are. And they hate that. They hate that they can't define you anymore. They hate that their version of you is dead and you didn't send a funeral invite. They hate that your glow isn't borrowed. It's built, brick by brick, scar by scar, lesson by brutal lesson. And now, you walk in rooms differently, head high, eyes sharp, energy calm, but nuclear. Because you know what you carry now. You carry the weight of everything you've overcome, and it doesn't make you tired. It makes you bulletproof. And those same people who talked behind your back, they have to swallow every single lie they built their ego on. Because when you walk in, they see the truth. You didn't need revenge. You became the revenge. They never saw it coming. They thought the silence was defeat. They thought the fall was final. They thought the pain would crush you. But they forgot one thing. You were never meant to fit in. You were born to break the mold, to rewrite the script, to destroy their expectations with grace and grit. And now they live in regret, not because you hate them, but because you don't care anymore. Because that's what really haunts them, that their words don't live in your head, that their hate didn't change your direction, it just lit the road, that everything they did to break you only brought you closer to the version of yourself they never wanted to see. And now, they sound dumb AF. Every word, every rumor, every fake smile, every secret shade. It's laughable now. Because time exposed everything. And truth doesn't knock. It kicks the door in. And you walk through that door like royalty, crowned by fire, cloaked in scars, carrying silence like a weapon they'll never understand. So keep going. Let them talk. Let them stumble over old lies trying to survive in your new era. Let them drown in the spoiled milk of their own hate. You're not in that room anymore. You're not in their league. You're not even in the same galaxy. Because they stayed bitter and you got better. And now, you don't need to say a word. You are the message. And the silence screams.